Black Americans are 13% of the population. They commit 55% of the violent crime.
A statistic I've heard before.
Right.
Again, I don't have the numbers to
It's fine. You could independently fact check it later. I don't anticipate you to have it off the top of your head. But why is that?
I don't have a direct answer.
I know. That's what I want you to think about it. And I'm not going to put you on the spot. Here's our answer.
This was more than a debate. It was a clash of perspectives. Charlie Kirk came ready with facts and a firm stance. Across from him, a student grappling with history, inequality, and hard questions. The result? A powerful exchange that shook the students' confidence.
Talking about a different topic this time. You made some interesting points. About the crime statistics in the African American community. You think crime and poverty are intrinsically linked?
Not always, but they could be directionally close to each other. For example, poor Asians are not necessarily more likely to commit crimes than a poor black person.
Okay. Do you think there's systematic functions in place that prevent African Americans from moving upward?
No, does not exist.
You don't think so?
No.
You don't think they've ever enforced any policies or any actions?
Maybe 40 or 50 years ago, but nothing in our lifetime, not even close.
I would say in our lifetime, right? Within our
That's a big deal, though,
our last
right?
20 decades, our last 2 decades, right? We've had a lot of opportunities for upper mobility, right?
And for whatever reason,
but at a systemic
hasn't
level,
worked.
At a systemic level, there's a history of prejudice within the American system against African Americans and black people.
But there's also historic systemic bias against Asian Americans and Jews. It hasn't held them back.
Yeah, but I'm not talking about them.
No,
right?
but it's important to compare. Why is it that it held blacks back but not Asians or Jews?
So I'll answer that. So Jews, well, let me speak about Asians. As a model minority, right? They've had more opportunities for upper mobility.
How?
Well, in terms of getting business loans, setting up in different neighborhoods.
Well, there was a lot more anti-Asian discrimination in California than anti-black discrimination in the 40s and 50s.
So you agree 100% that African Americans have given the same opportunities?
No, I'm not. Look,
as far as redlining goes,
groups are sometimes treated poorly. Whether or not you're able to overcome that is the question. Number two.
So treated poorly doesn't cover it. I have a couple things. I have a couple lines right here. So we have the Tulsa Massacre of 1921, right?
Yeah,
where African Americans established well, they established a black Wall Street, right? And that was taken down. We have the Black Panthers
how does that impact
in San Francisco.
How does that impact you?
Well, I'm saying there's a history. I'm trying to establish a link here.
No, but I think, again, that you're trained to do this in the college. It has no bearing on whether or not you can make good decisions or not.
Well,
right?
College has no impetus on my thinking. This is organic.
I know, but I reject the whole premise. You are not a creature or a victim of what happened 104 years ago. You're your own being with your own agency, your own ability to make decisions of right or wrong.
And I agree to not subscribing to a victim mentality and taking accountability for your actions.
I don't think any of that plays into your current status.
You don't think so at all?
No.
Can you list more reasons as to why?
Yeah, the number one problem with Black America is the fact that dads are not around. Not the fact that
and that's enforced by the government.
No, it's not.
I would say on an individual basis, there's different programs that stop.
Two out of 3 black youth did not have a dad around.
Yeah, there's a crack epidemic. CIA moved crack into the hood. We went into different hoods in Los Angeles community.
Yeah, but you have to still choose to do drugs. So, like, the point is you're a victim of your choices, not your circumstances. That's what makes us conservatives different.
I think you're removing culpability from people, but I agree with the accountability and the
We believe choices are what determine what you're in, not what's around you.
Yeah, your choices inform your environment and your outcomes. I agree with that.
Right from the start, a deep divide emerged. Is lasting inequality driven by systems or personal decisions? The student pointed to history, redlining, lost communities, structural barriers. Charlie countered with tough questions, asking why other groups have thrived despite facing bias. This wasn't just a debate over facts. It was a clash of competing stories, each side holding tight to their own.
People choose to do crack cocaine, and therefore your kids don't have a dad around. That's your own choice. If you choose to commit crimes and you're in prison, that's your own choice.
Yeah,
but no other community has had this problem. Why is Black America have this problem?
I think there's a direct link between the prison industrial complex and incarceration.
Well, but how does one get to prison?
And the profiling African Americans.
Well, hold on. But first of all, it's not a profiling when it comes to that. Blacks are far more likely to commit crimes than any other group associated. It's like 3 to 4 times more likely. It's not even close. So how is that profiling?
Well, I'm not here to debate numbers because I don't have the numbers.
It's okay. When you get home, you can look at it. Black Americans are 13% of the population. They commit 55% of the violent crime.
A statistic I've heard before.
Right.
And I don't have the numbers to
It's fine. You could independently fact check it later. I don't anticipate you to have it off the top of your head. But why is that?
I don't have a direct answer.
I know,
for that.
that's what I want you to think about it, and I'm not gonna put you on the spot. Here's our answer. It's easy and tempting to say systemic racism, redlining, right, all that. Or you could say, maybe it's because dads aren't around, because dads being with their equivalent others or spouses is not a value in the black community anymore. It's acceptable to have men impregnate women and flee. It's not a cultural expectation.
I think our cultural expectation is for African Americans to stand with their families and increase, because there's a lot of evidence that shows when two parents are present in a household, they have a higher chance of their children succeeding.
I agree. Then why doesn't that happen?
Upward.
So why don't black dads stay around?
I think that's a progression in our community. I think that's a progression.
But why is
I'm
that
saying
happening?
that the reason that we're here is there's a lot of factors that led us to this point.
I don't but it's a decision that a black man can make. He's impregnated a woman, so he's not in jail. So he's like a free citizen. Why not stay with that woman and start a family?
And I'd say for the most part,
66% of the time,
we're moving in that direction.
It's getting worse, not better, actually. The single fatherhood rate is getting worse in black America. It was 25% in 1965. It was 50% in 1980. It's 75% in certain cities now. It's beyond comprehension. It's like the worst of the industrialized world. And there's only one explanation. It's that it's not a cultural value in black America right now.
I think we have to disagree. I think it is a cultural value moving forward, and I think it has been a cultural value. And I think post-civil rights movement, especially during the civil rights movement, that was a major impetus. That was a major focus of the black community, and that's how we got through that movement.
You know, black
through
America,
that structure and that family
you know, black
unit.
America's actually gotten poorer since the Civil Rights Act.
Well, yes, I understand
Why?
that. I don't have an answer for that.
It's okay. Think about it. And I'm not saying it's one or the other, but the Civil Rights Act is revered as this amazing thing. But black America is actually poorer, more likely to commit crimes, in more poverty than it was before the Civil Rights Act. There's a lot of explanations. Thomas Sowell's written entire books about this.
And I've read on Thomas Sowell.
Good. And I want you to keep reading Thomas Sowell because he'll push your boundaries and he's phenomenal.
By the end, a shift happens. The student, visibly unsettled, admits he has more to learn. He commits to checking the facts, respectful, thoughtful, maybe even changed. In a space where debates often turn to noise, this one sparked real reflection.
Belief system. The most important thing is dads in the home. If you do not have two parents around, everything falls apart. It's not about government checks or welfare. It's the nuclear family. The nuclear family is a guarantor more than anything else that a kid is going to.
And I 100% agree with that.
Right. So we have to figure out then, it's a riddle. I think I know the answer. Why so many black youth do not have dads around.
I personally think the answer is more convoluted than that. I think it's a bit muddled. I think going forward, there's going to be an upward progression in that area. I have to look at the numbers, and I'll come back to you with some better statistics.
No worries. Thank you very much. Thanks for your good-hearted question.
At its heart, this debate asked, how much control do we really have over our lives, and how much is shaped by history and circumstance? Charlie Kirk pushed a clear message: personal responsibility matters most. His argument, broken homes, not broken systems, are the core issue for black Americans. He backed it with a stark stat: 2/3 of black youth grow up without fathers, linking that to cycles of poverty and crime. The student offered a wider view, citing redlining, the destruction of Black Wall Street, and historical sabotage. His focus was on deep-rooted inequalities and long-term harm. But he struggled to clearly connect past injustices to current challenges, opening the door for Kirk to steer the discussion back to individual choice. Kirk's edge came through comparison. He pointed to other groups, like Asian Americans and Jews, who succeeded despite facing bias. His message: if they overcame challenges, maybe the issue isn't the system. It's a sharp tactic, but it overlooks how different histories shape outcomes. Many Asian immigrants arrive with family support, education, and entrepreneurial drive. Black Americans often carry the weight of generational hardship and systemic neglect. Comparing their paths without context is misleading, like judging a race without seeing where each runner started. Still, Kirk held the upper hand in the debate. He stayed on message, responsibility, family, self-direction. When faced with topics like the drug crisis or incarceration, he didn't ignore them. He reframed them. His stance? Systems may influence, but decisions still matter. Most people can choose. But here's where Kirk missed a chance. By not acknowledging how past policies, like the Great Society or incentives tied to single-parent homes, may have impacted the black family, he limited his argument. Even the host noted that blind spot. A small concession could have made his case seem more balanced. Without weakening his stance, the student, though less sharp on data, showed something rare: humility. He didn't bluff. He didn't shout. He admitted what he didn't know and promised to learn more. That's not a loss. It's integrity. And in today's debate culture, that matters. You could see real reflection by the end, maybe even a shift in perspective.